What did Berlin look like before the wars that would erase entire neighborhoods from the map? Before firestorms, before concrete reconstruction, before the scars of the 20th century defined its image. In this video, I use AI tools to bring historic photographs and engravings to life, moving through Berlin as it appeared in the final decades of the 19th century, when it became the capital of a newly unified Germany and began transforming from a provincial Prussian city into an imperial metropolis. And if you stay until the end, I'll show you how these same places look today. This is Berlin in 1871, seen from the banks of the Spree River. Low buildings line the water. Church towers rise above dense blocks of housing. Smoke drifts from factory chimneys in the distance. At this moment, Berlin has just become the capital of a new empire. In January 1871, inside the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, the German Empire is proclaimed. Wilhelm I is crowned emperor, and Berlin, once a regional Prussian centre, suddenly becomes the political heart of a unified Germany. Power, money and ambition begin flowing into the city at unprecedented speed. The Berlin of the early 1870s is crowded, uneven, and still deeply marked by its medieval past. Narrow streets twist through working-class districts. Courtyards are packed with workshops, animals and families living on top of one another. The population, already over 800,000, is rising fast. Migrants arrive daily from the countryside, drawn by factories, railways, and the promise of steady wages. This is Unter den Linden, Berlin's most prestigious boulevard. In the 1870s, it is already a symbol of authority and order. Linden trees line the avenue. Horse-drawn carriages roll past government buildings, embassies and cafes. Officers in uniform walk alongside civil servants and businessmen. At the eastern end stands the Berlin Palace, residence of the Hohenzollern dynasty. Nearby, construction is reshaping the city's core, replacing older medieval structures with monumental architecture meant to project imperial confidence. Berlin is learning how to look like a capital. We're standing now at the site of the Reichstag in the 1880s. The building is still under construction. Stone, scaffolding, and cranes dominate the scene. When completed, it will house the Parliament of the German Empire, a symbol of modern governance layered atop authoritarian power. The Reichstag reflects a contradiction at the heart of this new nation. Germany is unified, industrialized, and technologically advanced. But political power remains tightly controlled by the emperor and his chancellor. The architecture is grand. The democracy inside is limited. This is Alexanderplatz in the 1880s, one of Berlin's busiest public spaces. Vendors shout over the noise of carts and trams. Railway lines converge nearby, bringing goods and people from across the empire. The square feels restless, always moving, always loud. Industrial Berlin is expanding outward at breakneck speed. New tenement blocks, known as Mietskasernen, rise across the city. From the street, their facades appear orderly and respectable. But inside, multiple courtyards stretch back into darkness, packed with overcrowded apartments. Families rent single rooms. Light and air are scarce. Disease spreads easily here. Tuberculosis thrives. Infant mortality is high. This is the human cost of Berlin's rise. We're standing now along the Spree River in the 1890s. Warehouses and factories line the banks. Barges move slowly through the water, carrying coal, bricks, and raw materials. The river is no longer picturesque. It is industrial infrastructure. Railway stations punctuate the city. Trains arrive constantly, binding Berlin to Hamburg, Munich, Cologne, and beyond. Germany is becoming an industrial power, and Berlin is its engine. This is the WWII Berlin Cathedral. Under reconstruction in the 1890s, the old structure is being replaced by something far larger and more ornate. Religion here is inseparable from state power. The cathedral is meant to rival Rome, London, and Paris, an imperial statement in stone. Nearby, museums rise along what will become Museum Island. Art, history, and knowledge are gathered and ordered, presented as evidence of cultural superiority. Berlin is not just building factories, it is building an identity. We cross now into working-class neighbourhoods, north and east of the centre. Streets are narrower here. Laundry hangs between buildings. The smell of coal smoke mixes with cooking and waste. Children play in courtyards. Workers return home covered in soot. Despite harsh conditions, life continues. Beer halls fill in the evenings. Political discussions grow louder. Social democratic ideas spread among factory workers, alarming the imperial government. Berlin is not only a capital of power, it is becoming a capital of dissent. By the turn of the century, electric streetlights begin replacing gas lamps. Trams move faster. Department stores appear. The city feels modern, restless, and confident. But standing here in 1900, you would not yet see what is coming. No one imagines the wars that will flatten entire districts. No one anticipates the bombed-out ruins, the divided city, the concrete walls. Before we jump forward, pause here on a typical Berlin street at the end of the 19th century. On one side, older Prussian buildings, simple, restrained. On the other, newer structures, larger, denser, more imposing. Horse hooves echo on stone. Factory whistles mark the hours. The city never truly rests. Much of this Berlin will not survive the 20th century. Entire neighbourhoods will be erased by bombing. Others will be rebuilt in entirely different forms. The royal palace will vanish. The empire will collapse. The city will be divided, then reunited. Today, Unter den Linden has been restored. Museum Island stands rebuilt. The Reichstag still functions, now crowned with a glass dome, symbolising transparency. But the dense, working-class courtyards, the imperial confidence, the unchecked expansion of the 1890s, those belong to another Berlin. Berlin in the late 19th century was a city becoming powerful faster than it could understand itself. What emerged shaped the modern world. What was lost can never be fully recovered. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments which city or era you'd like to explore next. Until next time.